Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Steve. Hi, everybody. And yes, we have impeachment.
Woohoo!
Oh my goodness, it is so nice to be here with my fellow non-conservatives. Let's say it's so
Leftists and left-leaning. We'll sort of make it
yeah,
all
just
inclusive.
well, non-conservatives. I think
Yes.
is pretty inclusive of our group.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody asked about whether you could impeach Bush, and I think what we were talking about this earlier, because some of the consequences of a impeachment and a conviction have to do with things that will happen after he leaves office. He loses his pension. He loses the opportunity to run again. So impeaching him, I guess we could impeach Bush because then, well, no, he can't run again.
He can't run again, but I guess you could
take the rest of his pension.
You could take the rest of his pension, and yeah, I guess.
And
and I get, and does it do you lose Secret Service protection too?
I think so.
So I guess Bush would lose that.
Yeah, but I mean, Rafiki says, I wish we could have tried Bush for war crimes. Honestly, let's be real. Every president of every country with an army should probably be tried.
Has probably done some at least questionable stuff, if not outright.
Yeah. Time out. You are not too late for a trek. We are just getting started.
We are just getting started. Draw to Trekkie, ex-presidents continue to have Secret Service protection for the rest of their lives. Yeah, that's part of the deal. So, I mean, Jimmy Carter still has Secret Service protection, at least as far as I know. I mean, it's not obviously it's not the same. It's not the same level of security as when they're actually in office. But yeah, you're entitled to.
Yeah, Secret Service. So now here's something I want to know. Does he get his Secret Service detail to help him out when he's like building houses for Habitat for Humanity?
Or do they have to be vigilant and keep watch?
Well, they could keep watch while they're like passing nails. They'd be like, hey, no, I need the Phillips head.
Yeah, pass me that screwdriver, would you? Thank you very much.
Your Southern accent is better than mine.
My Jimmy Carter, anyway.
That's true.
Hello, my fellow Americans. My name is Jimmy Carter.
I've never attempted. I honestly, I don't know if I've ever heard Jimmy Carter.
Well, well, in that case, he sounds exactly like that.
Steve, I don't know if I believe you.
You should, though. You should believe me. You should trust me. Don't you trust me? Moving on.
How honestly do you want me to answer that?
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Loose and fancy free.
Hey. What would a Star Trek watch along be without a quote from the Muppets?
Not just a quote, a song lyric.
A song lyric from the Muppets. Okay, so speaking of which, we are gathered here today to watch an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
And to celebrate
this thing called life.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say the impeachment. But
or the impeachment, yes. And the impeachment. So we're going to watch episode 5 of Deep Space Nine, which is titled Captive Pursuit. So if you're watching along with us, and hopefully you are, because otherwise this is going to be really boring. If you're watching it on Netflix or Hulu or CBS All Access or wherever you're watching it, someone gave a reference earlier for if you're watching it on the old VHS release.
Oh, bless.
Which is great. Remember when they would just release random episodes of Star Trek on VHS? So we're going to start at 000, of course, and I will count us in. I'll do 3, 2, 1 play, and we'll watch until I say 3, 2, 1 pause, and then we'll pause and we'll talk about what just happened for a little while. And then we'll get back into it, and we'll watch the whole episode together.
I'm ready.
You're ready to take notes.
And I'm debating. I'm thinking teal tonight for my pen.
I like that.
I like pens.
Teal is a good color.
Pizza's here. Pizza's early. Okay, let's start, and I'll eat and watch, and then my mouth won't be full. So
okay.
We're discussing.
So you can take notes silently, and then we'll talk about it after.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's perfect.
All right. So you want to get started?
Let's.
Okay, everybody watching, we're gonna start. Deep Space Nine, Episode 5, Captive Pursuit. Get ready. We're gonna play in 3, 2, 1, play.
So, do they ever not start with the pan?
They may have. There may be episodes where they don't start with the pan, but it's very, very common. It's pretty regular.
Can I have the butter? I guess it's because she's an alien. And the terrible wig.
He flirted with his knuckles? I'm sorry. That could get really filthy. That could get like there's a very filthy joke there somewhere that I shouldn't. I love that Cisco has a back door out of his office.
For that quick getaway.
Yeah, exactly.
Or for those trysts.
You know that? You know, Yellow Alert doesn't get enough credit. It's nice. It's a nice laid back alert, you know. Yeah, Loretta, we've started.
It's the we need to pay attention to this alert.
Yeah, but you know, it's
because normally we don't pay attention.
Yeah, like don't panic, but let's just keep an eye on it.
This is the perfect time to panic.
Boy, he needs to stabilize his camera there. Friendo.
Aw, comrade. Chris Kringle, what giant space tunnel?
Well, now you can't see it until it opens. So maybe he didn't. Oh, and they stabilized his shot for him.
It's ham and pineapple, dear Alter Trekkie, and it's really
yummy.
Good stuff. Yeah, and you can't have any.
No, I could have some on Saturday though, because that's my cheat day.
Well, it's gonna be gone by then.
Well, I'm not saying that particular pizza. All right, now everybody just relax. Take a minute. Cleansing breaths. Nice, easy opening credits. If you've had a bad day, just close your eyes.
Hey, ain't none of us had a bad day. Trump's the beach.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Although there are other things to consider, I'm sure, in life. I'm thinking.
That's true. Some people may have had a bad day despite the impeachment of the worst president ever. It's okay if you had a bad day. It's okay if the Trump impeachment doesn't mean shit to you.
Random Geek, my people.
Yeah. Pineapple on pizza is delicious. I don't understand why people, and if you know what I don't get, people who don't like it have such strong feelings about it.
Yeah, like those of us who like pineapple on pizza aren't trying to put pineapple on all pizzas.
No, it's not like you're sneaking it onto other people's pizza.
Although, I'm just saying,
you might thank me.
I was more thinking about, potential consequences for Trump. Like
Oh,
if he's one of those, and he seems like the sort who would be an anti-pineapple on pizza
he
kind of
does.
guy, and he'd really be stuck on it. So like once he's in prison, like that's what he gets.
That's every three squares a day, and it's pineapple pizza. Oh, thank you, Demas, with a super chat. Says, love you guys and your work. Just
Aw.
arrived, going to rewind and looking forward to your insights on this one. By the way, I'm having a wonderful day. Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yes. Jalapeno on pizza is good too, Caitlin. I agree. Jalapeno is good on pretty much anything, though. I mean, to be honest.
Oh, grilled pineapple. Yeah, these aren't grilled. This is just like canned stuff, I'm guessing. I doubt it's fresh.
An alien spacecraft. Good thing in Star Trek, everybody can fly anything. Like, all you have to do is sit down in front of the control panel and you can work it.
And then you can cuss at them. Cuss at everybody else who gets in your way. Veldon, I'm so sorry to hear that you had a bad day. But I hope it's getting better now.
Yes, hopefully we can make it a little better for the next little while.
Whoa. I'm invisible. Can you see me? No.
I have a gift. I shovel well. Okay, Harvey.
Ermixon, the premise is though that it's something that I have seen and I want him to see. So the Star Wars animated shows would not qualify.
And yet you give me such grief over not having seen them.
No, I don't.
You don't? Maybe you don't. Oh, no, you give me grief over The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You talking to me?
On. Like this half telling me stuff. That's not helpful. Not helpful.
Like, you know, we're having communication issues already, right?
I am at like minus 3740.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. How much O'Brien is on?
Fewer words, dude.
How much O'Brien is on Deep Space Nine? Miles O'Brien.
Oh, I bet he's related to Groot.
Yes. He has a bigger vocabulary, though. A little bit. I mean, they have to wait for the reactor to cool down. It's the future. There's not like a quantum coolerator or something he can just plug onto it.
It's the blue button.
Yeah. And shoot phasers at you.
All that good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you assume that it is. Wow. You ignorant fool.
Is that supposed to be funny?
Like, don't joke when you don't understand somebody else's culture or language or species.
Anyway.
But they were Corey. I guess it's specific enough for that. My concern was I would want to make absolutely certain that it went off for me, and then it stopped, and it did not go off for him.
Yeah. Lisa, no, I've never seen Comrade Detective.
Personal space, dude.
I know. The old 4:3 aspect ratio. People need to get right up in each other's faces.
Can't they just use like angles differently? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, they don't. I mean,
it's honestly, it's usually not that big of a deal unless it's like a close two shot. I mean, for a medium shot, it's usually not that bad, but yeah, the most homoerotic of aspect ratios.
That's interesting.
We're actually pretty awful in a lot of ways. Anyway, right this way.
Well, the aliens from Galaxy Quest certainly do have, well, some of them anyway, have laughter.
An approximation of laughter.
I'm at 33.22, minus 33.22 from the end.
Me.
Chris Kringle, exactly. How long's the rotation?
Right.
Aww. My life is but to serve you.
Anyway, I'm out of here.
I'm here to serve you, except I'm not actually here.
Bye. I mean, I do have work, so, good luck.
Uh-oh. Hey, Pedro.
Why can a guest just look up where the weapons are on the station? That's a good question.
The access is restricted, as in you can't go here.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. Okay, and I am paused at 31:36 remaining for people who want a time code there.
Okay, so we have met Tosk, who is a dude.
He's like a lizard man, like a crocodile
lizard person.
man.
Actually, we don't. I mean, Tosk could be female.
That's true.
We don't know this.
That's true. Tosk is Tosk. Yeah, so people are already commenting on Tosk apparently does not need to eat. He says he has nutrients stored in his body, And 255 AD points out that he has to take in something because of the laws of thermodynamics. Well, or maybe he just doesn't have that long of a lifespan. I
Or
mean,
his metabolism is really slow. His
yeah,
processes,
yeah. It doesn't
So
necessarily violate the laws of thermodynamics unless he can somehow exist indefinitely without
yeah, I mean, there's
bringing in.
all kinds of sciencey stuff we can just like throw at this
Yeah, it's
that
Star Trek.
I'm not familiar. Yeah, exactly.
It's Star Trek.
It's all fake.
Yeah, it's all fake. That is my answer to pretty much every criticism of the scientific validity of a Star Trek show. Hey, it's all made up anyway. Why are you worried about this?
So yeah, I just my thought. The other possibility is like, yes, he has like body pockets, and he brought along like he's got sustenance, like like ration packets, like he's got in his body pockets.
Yeah, so it seems like like a biological. Yeah, exactly. Like he has. It's like stored body fat, except you're born with it and you have enough of it to live for a while long. You know.
255 AD is asking me about thoughts on the scene with the Dabo girl. I'm curious about it.
I will say I think that's another example of sort of the fact that we're still very early in the show, because Quark being a creep to the Dabo girls is not really something that's continued all that much. I think the writers figured that out pretty quick, that if they wanted Quark to be like a main character and not be an outright villain, that they couldn't have him doing shit like that. Like he couldn't be that much of a scumbag to sexually harass the Dabo girls.
But I mean, it raises some interesting questions. I mean, the implication from what she says is that Quark knows he's being skeevy.
Yes.
Because it's in the contract, but apparently it's buried based on what she said, where she says it is. So that it's not something, it's not like it's just, despite this being the 24th century, it's not like, sex work's part of the job. What?
Right.
That's
right.
not,
It's exactly. It's like it's a requirement that isn't dealt with up front.
But also, it's still stigmatized.
Yeah, it's stigmatized. Yeah, there you go. That's a better way.
And it's because you get that's the vibe I get from it. Or Lisa, Lisa, I think there is value to the work in looking back at Firefly, in being a companion, in being even if we actually look back in our own history, like being an intimate companion, like that was a job that a gentlewoman of reduced means could have. Now they would be a companion to a lady, like being a lady's companion. I mean, they would sort of be almost like a personal assistant, but they would also be someone, somebody who would listen, somebody who would, be there for them, and essentially be like a cross between a personal assistant and a friend. So there was this sort of weird for us, middle ground. Yeah. But I mean, there is something that is important about, I mean, the nature of touch and companionship and intimacy. And so in a cashless or in a, not just cashless, but like non-monetary society, there's still, that's still a job that could have value if it wasn't stigmatized, is how I would, sort of look at it.
And also that's a much more useful answer than the one I'm going to give. But
go for it.
Because I'm pretty sure, I don't know if we ever actually see sex workers who are operating in the Federation economy. I think when we see sex workers in Star Trek, they're always from other cultures that presumably still have an economy that uses money. So it's important to keep that in mind. Just because the Federation doesn't use money
Yeah,
They
exactly.
encounter
Like,
other people that still do.
right, exactly. 255 AD tagged me and said it sounds a bit like geisha. That's different. Geisha would be more of a performer, whereas a paid companion would be more like a personal attendant, sort of like a lady in waiting, but not quite, not quite that high in rank. But and they would be with this one person. And it's also a same gender kind of thing. I don't know that dudes had the same sort of retainers. I guess because it was, assumed that if you were a gentleman and you found yourself reduced in means, you would get a job, whereas ladies didn't necessarily have that option if they were ladies. So,
And Philip Kehoe mentions Risa, which is sort of the pleasure planet in Star Trek. And good question. I don't know. I don't know if Risa is ever established as being a member of the Federation. But yeah, there's clearly sex work going on Risa. And actually, I don't know. I think it is. Because there's a Deep Space Nine episode much later that we haven't. We're nowhere. It's like in season 5 or 6, I think, where I think Risa being a Federation planet is a very important point. But yeah, and there's definitely sex work going on Risa. So yeah.
255 AD, this pizza is from Papa John's, which is a chain. Mostly because it's pizza that we like, but also because it's the closest one, and I was hungry.
Needs must.
There's a wonderful place, Bob's Brick Oven, and they unfortunately are a little bit further away, and we can't have them. They won't deliver up here. Actually, I don't know that they're doing delivery now at all. It's just pickup, and they have reduced hours. In part just some stuff that happened before the pandemic, but alas, not an option for tonight. But pizza. Okay, random meat, because it's sex work, companion, we could work of care work. Yes, I would consider it care work. Absolutely. I think if it was like exotic dancing, that sort of thing, that's more performative. That would be more in the, like, I wouldn't consider like massage therapy to be care work necessarily, because it doesn't involve that. It doesn't involve having to listen to somebody, which is different. Whereas I would consider therapists to be care workers. So and some of that is just how maybe there's like a definition in terms of like employment. There probably is, like, as far as classifying employment, in our bureaucracy. But I would say that companion work, full service sex work, any sort of like interactive where you talk to the person, but exotic dancing, I would think of as not as much as care work. Essentially, yeah, somewhere in where I draw the line is, does this person have to listen to their client? If so, it's care work. That's a part of it.
Yeah. And also a little bit earlier, Charles Chapman asks, is it work if you don't get paid? Yeah.
Let me tell you, when I got to fold laundry, when I got to do the dishes, that is work.
There is such a thing as unpaid labor. And it's not just like, drudgery. I mean, people do work that they enjoy, that they don't get paid for necessarily, but I think it's still fair to call it work,
Yeah, like volunteering, that's work.
And a couple people are pointing out that, yes, Quark's creepiness toward the Dabo girls does recur here and there throughout the series, but it's not something that he is shown to be doing a lot. And I think
well, and the other thing is, better is, you can talk about, how are you feeling? Are you better? It's like, I hate when somebody asks me that if I've been sick. So I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not as bad as I was, but I'm not like better,
improved, but not. Yeah.
I'm not contagious. When I'm back at school, I'm like, well, I'm not contagious, but I'm like, I'm really tired and I'm not really feeling great, but I'm better.
You're better than, but you're not all the way
better.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what you were going for with Quark.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. So shall we jump back into the episode?
We probably should. You know me, I can just run my mouth like all the time.
One of your many charms. All right.
It's a skill, I'll have you know.
It's a skill. It's a charming skill.
Oh, thank you.
And a skillful charm.
All right. Well, count us in.
Everybody get ready. We're getting back into this episode in 3, 2, 1, play.
Charlie Foxtrot, yeah, better than feeling like utter crap. Just feeling somewhat crappy. Definitely an improvement.
Crap-ish.
Kate Linnell, I would say it would depend on. Yeah, because it's not necessarily real time, but you could have a regular who was like asynchronous. That's really interesting. Oh boy, science, engineering, mumbledy jumbledy. We make things up.
Technobabble.
Lot like a ram scoop.
But yeah, that's not necessarily technobabble.
Oh, that sounds Fiki, I think not only is labor needed to help each other out, I think we as individuals need labor. Like I think we not only want but also need to feel like we matter to others, and labor is one way of accomplishing that.
It's nice to know mechanics talk exactly the same 300 years from now as they do today.
No, it's not. It's a learned behavior.
Everybody knows what a hilarious jokester Miles O'Brien is. I love that they leave, they crack up, and they win, they crack up, and they immediately leave.
That's the way to do it. Go on, take the money, and run.
And get out.
Emerlian, either unpaid or underpaid. Good gravy. That's exhausting. Oh boy. You keep the bar, don't you?
I love how prickly he is about that.
Then it. Oh. Challenge accepted. Like literally fantasy adventure. The whole point of it is not utility.
Yeah. Tosk doesn't get that.
Quark, you're a terrible liar. I envy you. No, you don't. Yeah. No, you don't. Just another broke nerd. You're so right. You're like, please stop hitting the things. Please. You're not helping. Not helping. It doesn't help just to hit it harder. Well, I mean, sometimes it does. but usually not. Not necessarily. Most of us would be, I don't know, suspicious.
Yeah.
Uncertain. Thank you.
I'm in this scene too, you guys.
Yes, apparently a lie of omission is still a lie.
That's why it's right there in the name.
So you have, like, if you don't tell people everything, then it's bad.
Whatever. Cabinet's kind of flimsy. Oh, it must be hot in that room. That painting is melting.
What a shame. It was so pretty. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, how's it going?
Hmm.
That's nice.
He's more of a casual acquaintance.
Um,
Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. I'm paused at 23:39 remaining.
me too.
Look at
Imagine
that. Perfect.
Synchronicity.
Synchronicity, baby. So
which is also a very lovely word. Okay, go ahead.
it is. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? So yeah, Tosk has some secrets.
Don't we all?
Yeah, but I mean, we don't all try to break into security lockouts on space stations.
Well, yeah, that's because ain't none of us been on a space station.
And he's like, I can't tell you. Odo's like, what were you breaking? What were you trying to access the security stuff for? And he's like, I can't tell you. It's a secret, okay? Yeah, and just another broke note in the chat says, I like that Odo doesn't take the aggressive approach. Yeah, Odo, I mean, for
all that he's a cop.
For all of the grief that Odo takes for the mere fact that he's a cop. I mean, we have to look at the fact that not only does Odo, and not just in this episode, but in a lot of other episodes, he doesn't lead with violence if he can help it. And also, he almost never uses a weapon. I don't know if we ever see Odo, and if we do, it's very rare. He doesn't shoot people. He doesn't have a phaser. Like, he makes a point of not carrying a weapon, so.
255 AD, I saw your previous message about Quark and the ear massage. And the thing is, it depends on how the with Dabo girl or whoever she was or whoever it was felt about that. And what the just all the ramifications are. It's It's not, if he's deceiving her, then that's not cool. But my issue is less that it's, paying for sexual favors than it is with, deceit, because deceit is not good. So,
Rifsky says Odo's main sins are related to his desire for surveillance and invasion of privacy and his collaborations. Yeah, and
he's
yeah,
nosy.
he does have. I mean, I think it's a legitimate thing to point out about his kid. He does have authoritarian tendencies, and that's because he favors keeping order, and he's willing to put aside the personal liberties of people on the station in order to maintain order. And the Starfleet people are on the opposite side of that. The Starfleet people want to err on the side of giving people as much freedom as they can, whereas Odo is like, screw that. I want to.
Daniel, I love that. That is very well done. I approve.
Despite having no nose,
he is nosy. Maybe he's compensating. Yeah. See, Charles, I'll be interested to see that episode because we find out she's up for it at the end of the episode, but at the start it sounds like she's very uncomfortable and she has to be forced into it. Like that, it honestly to me it sounds like bad writing. I'm just saying. So, that's a season 6 episode.
Yeah, not this episode. Yeah.
Well, I'll have forgotten all about it by then. So it's my superpower.
And 255 AD, I am not aware if there's any significance to the painting or not. I don't know.
Was it dogs playing poker?
I wish it had been. I wish it had been. I know it wasn't dogs playing poker, but I wish it had been.
Oh man, that would have been great.
Well, it could have been. It's Star Trek, so it could have been Targs playing poker because Targs are like Klingon dogs.
They still have humans.
I know.
There should still be dogs.
There are dogs. There are still dogs. Captain
Are
Archer
you sure?
Archer has a dog in Star Trek Enterprise, and there are frequent dog sightings throughout Star Trek.
Okay, we'll see. I'm glad to hear that.
Me too.
I need
there you go. Targs playing Tongo. Perfect. That's the perfect Star Trek joke. Targs playing Tongo.
I'll take.
Yeah.
Oh, because Targs are like special Star Trek dogs.
Targs are Klingon dogs, and Tongo is like a made-up Ferengi card game that we see a little bit later in Deep Space Nine. I don't think we've referenced it yet, but yeah.
Okay, because it could be dogs playing Dabo.
Dogs playing Dabo. Their little paw spinning the wheel. Their little paw spinning the wheel.
There's a puppy room in TNG. I want a puppy. Oh, God.
Oh, and also in TNG, there's the episode, one of my favorite episodes of, I think it's called True Q, where with Amanda, who is half Q, and her powers sometimes work subconsciously, and she, magically summons her little collection of puppies from home. They're like waiting for her in her quarters, and she's got little puppies running around.
She's half Q.
She's half
so
Q.
she can do half of whatever.
She's not exactly half Q. I mean, she's full Q, but she doesn't have an awareness of her powers because her parents were in human form when she was conceived. So it's complicated.
It's just like
just don't think it's Star Trek. Just don't think too much about it.
Yeah, it's fantasy in space.
It's fantasy. It's just don't worry about it. Darren. She's half omnipotent. Exactly. That's so great.
Caitlin L. Yeah, that is. It's terribly. Like, oh, actually, I wanted to be like. God, at least female romance writers got past that in like the freaking 80s. Okay. Oh, the whole rape fantasy thing. Jeez Louise. Rather have dolphins on the Enterprise D than the Dauphin.
Well, yeah, the Dauphin, which is a not terribly well liked episode from TNG's second season.
Aww. She hasn't gone through puberty yet. Does that involve does that involve jumping up and down on a pyramid,
I love
trying to avoid snakes?
I love it. I love it.
All right, we better get going.
Yeah, let's get back into the episode because
Oh.
once again we need to be done by 8:00 tonight.
Yep.
So okay, let's get back into the episode. And just for people who need a time code, I know some random geek threw it in there earlier, but I'm paused at 23:39. Yeah, 23:39 from the end. We're gonna get back into it. I'll count us in.
All right, go for it.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, play. Mullet, yes, this is the Tosk show, yes. Dead or alive?
Am I desired? Let me tell you. You have no idea. No, you're saying a lot of other stuff. The I am Groot thing, that's all he can say.
Yeah.
Hold him. That's all he really wants. Miles and that look.
What the F, man? I vouched for you. You're such a nice guy.
Says the cop.
Let him cool off for a while. We'll see how he feels.
Die with honor? Sure, I'll help. Like, I got you, man. Uh-oh. Sparkles.
Oh, you got to watch those ionized L-band emissions.
We got answers. They are, I am Tosk, and allow me to die with honor.
That's all he's saying. They're waving a flashlight in our faces, sir.
Rumbling.
Of the United Rumbling.
What kind of radiation have you seen? Normally, you kind of can't. Anyway. No, Charlie Foxtrot. We don't have to worry about it. The shields were up, right?
Promenade. Oh.
Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it.
We are visitors from the Daft Punk galaxy.
That.
Go ahead and let it play because that seems like it wasn't very long since the... Yeah, Caitlin, I like the transporter effect for these guys too.
Say please. He didn't say please.
He did not. He said the opposite of please.
What's the opposite of please?
That punch an Odo in the face.
Oh, there's that.
They have Wonder Woman gauntlets. They're
I
deflecting our
know.
shots. Daniel, Odo does kind of get wharfed. Yeah. Uh-huh. Because he doesn't use guns because he's not a wuss. Odo's a real man. Well, I'm not technically a man. I mean, he seems to be male, but Charlie Foxtrot. Aim for their arms, quick!
Come on, get the butt. Look at that.
Shoot him in the butt.
covering on
Yeah,
the
he was
butt.
turned away. He's got one of them Chewbacca crossbows.
I'm digging the sparklies. It looks very Christmassy.
Yeah. Yes. You can hide all you want, but we will bring you the tidings of the season. Join the Dark Order.
He's scowling.
All right, you got me.
Dude, why are you just standing here? Like, I mean, maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he doesn't know that they can only see like this much of it at a time.
Yeah, I know. Bye.
Oh, this one's got hair. He's well coiffed.
Yes. Standing right here. Hello. Helpless. Well, let's not go nuts. Mullet says the VR troopers have arrived. That's even better than the Power Rangers joke, I think.
Nice.
And now you're gonna pay.
Did I not enunciate? I mean, because I think I was pretty clear.
I think I said what I wanted to say.
I used little words. Open fire on your. They're all one syllable.
That's monos. Yeah, that's one syllable words.
They're pretty straightforward. I mean, I used several.
But I wasn't talking that fast.
It's the most dangerous game in space.
The most dangerous space game.
No, the most dangerous game in space.
In space.
In space.
Well, the Klingons probably
Unless they're evil.
Unless they're evil, yeah. He likes it.
That's going a little far. I mean, have you seen what they did to the cauliflower? I mean, that was not a good recipe. They should, yeah.
You think this is abuse? If you can't take this, how can you take the abuse you get on a sit?
Cauliflower pizza. Steve would like that, I'm sure.
I wouldn't mind cauliflower pizza.
So
I like
cauliflower
cauliflower.
pizza or cauliflower on pizza?
How about cauliflower pizza with cauliflower on it as one of the toppings?
Whoa, that's so meta, dude.
Nested cauliflower levels.
Not really. Not really. No. Right. M. Ooh, schnitzel pizza.
Caulifleption. Thank you, John.
Oh, he ain't gonna do that.
Mm.
This whole honor thing.
What if I am Tosk means I request asylum? Can we make that stick?
Miles can talk him into it because they're like this now.
They're bros.
I have a way out.
I have? Oh, God.
Exactly. Oh, God, Miles, you suck at this.
All you have to do is puss out and ask us to help you.
Yeah, but ain't nobody got to know about it.
Yeah, screw those people.
Until they put you on display.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very homoerotic. Oh, Brian.
I'm Tosk for life, bro. The Vault of Pop Culture. This is Captive Pursuit.
Yeah, you can, dude.
You're just
You
not
just
gonna.
ain't gonna. Jinx. I'd say you owe me a beer, but I don't like beer.
Well, whatever you want then.
Tea!
3, 2, 1, pause. Okay, and I'm paused at 11 minutes, 9 seconds remaining.
Okay, so I want to know,
yes.
is anybody in chat familiar with The Most Dangerous Game?
Yeah. I mean, I bet a lot of us have at least read the story in school, right? I mean, at least the Americans, because it's pretty standard. Look at you.
I'm prepared. So yeah. Rainsford and Zaroff. But the ending is, of course, very different because they are. The whole thing is about them being equals, and in this case, they're not. They obviously see Tosk as less than them.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so The Most Dangerous Game is it starts off with Rainsford is our protagonist. Daryl Strecki, no. So Rainsford is
no, it's not like Jumanji. No.
Traveling on a ship, and there's a storm, and he gets as they're passing Ship Trap Island, and they're passing it. And there's all kinds of sailors have weird tales about this place, and the protagonist Rainsford gets knocked overboard during a storm. And he sees the ship is it's all kinds of waves, and he's hollering out, but everybody's like below decks, and he was a dumb butt standing up watching the storm. And so he ends up he swims to the island, and he passes out when he reaches shore, and he wakes up, and he is in a house, and he's like, whoa, what the heck? And so Yeah, this is kind of similar to Lord of the Flies. Um,
Sort of.
and so anyway, he wakes up and his host is General Zaroff. And General Zaroff, he's like, I've heard of you. You're a hunter. He's like, oh, yes. He's like, but I haven't heard about you. You know, you used to hunt like, lions and wildebeest and all kinds of dangerous game. He's like, oh, I still hunt. I hunt the most dangerous game. And so as it turns out, Zaroff hunts people. And so he essentially gives Rainsford a 6-hour head start, and then he comes after him.
Yeah.
And so it's about Rainsford using what he knows, because he is a hunter as well. And so he uses what he knows about hunters' techniques and things like that, as well as he's able to, I think Zaroff gives him a knife.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he gets a gun.
I don't know. I don't think he gets a gun.
He's able to create some traps, and he's able to do some doubling back on his trail and things like that. And so, yeah, Geraldo Sharkey, what a nice man. So of course, but I mean, Zaroff is our antagonist, and he is definitely a villain. But it's also, he's also very cultured, very posh, very, very well mannered. He treats Rainsford well while he's his guest. So yeah, it's a really interesting premise, and so it keeps you guessing as to how it's going to play out. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's one of the. I mean, if you haven't read it and you're interested in like just American literature, it's something. It's one to check out because it's one of the most referenced and imitated short stories probably ever in English language short stories. It's certainly in the last couple of centuries. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's so many movies that are takeoffs on that premise, and it's just a good story. It's a really good, like action suspense story.
Yeah, 255 AD. I'd go beyond that because they say he's bred for this. Like he is sort of like in between humans and animals, and we are, the sentient and sapient aren't quite the same thing. And although we use sentient to mean both in most cases. And so we are just beginning to understand the intelligence of other species. And so the question becomes, what rights should they have inherently? And of course, to what degree do we have a responsibility to respect rights of other beings? To what degree does sentience and sapience come into it? And all sorts of stuff like that, because it's not just, I would say, indoctrination as far as, a fellow human. At some point, that fellow human becomes responsible for developing for questioning what they've been told, even if they've been indoctrinated. Kind of like, oh, help, what everybody said Bell has. When you're hostage, it's getting to
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome, yeah, that you've been brainwashed, but you can become one of the bad guys. But at the same time, you're still responsible for your actions.
Yeah. I'm curious, Dana. I'm curious what you think about Caitlin L's question here, or not question, but about just talking about having an exam about Of Mice and Men, where the question was phrased, "Explain why shooting him was the right choice," instead of saying, "Do you think it was the right choice or not, and why?" That seems like a really loaded question.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah. Do you think shooting him was the right choice? I wouldn't have phrased it that way either.
Well, no, but it's better than, assuming that it was the right choice and then saying,
yeah, that assumption being packed in there is weak. I would have phrased it as, what do you think? Why did I would have phrased it in terms of authorial choice. Lenny and George aren't real people. They're characters. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Why does the author have him make this choice? What are the other possibilities? Why is it appropriate and consistent for the character to make this choice? What are the consequences of that? But yeah, and Caitlin, there's a part of me that it's not exactly cheap, but I mean, it's a bit like Old Yeller.
Yeah.
Like it feels cheap. It feels cheap. But you're just supposed to, it's there to make you feel bad, to have an emotional impact,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And anytime you do I mean, it feels like you're doing something that is pretty much guaranteed to provoke a strong emotional reaction. It's not necessarily the most skillful way to write it.
Yeah. Yeah, Mullet says even if Tusk was brainwashed or whatever, that's his heart's desire now. Okay.
Emerline,
Yeah.
it's not. It's kind of similar to the Island of Doctor Moreau, but not really. I mean, it's similar in the setup, and that they both take place on an island, and they both deal with like the antagonists are both these very eccentric guys, but plot wise, it's not really that similar.
Yeah, 25580, I think we really don't know what his capabilities are. We haven't known him long enough. He's just, he's this one-off character. So we don't know. We can't know. Yes, and it's some random geek. Yeah. I think you mean About. And they are, I mean, I would say Gatsby as well. I mean, there's a, I mean, just about all of American literature touches on capitalism in some form or another. Even I would argue it all does, just because I mean capitalism is so much, and the ideas that the values that it has, it's just so instilled that you can't be an American writer and not have that influence your writing. I mean, it's just so much a part of who we are. One of those, oh God, yeah, the jungle. Okay, yeah, and I'm gonna try not to go on and on and on. We can once we finish the episode, I will absolutely go on about literature as much as anybody desires.
Yes.
Also, is this an example of the PD going too far? Is that police department? The PD. I don't know what you mean.
Oh, the PD. Prime Directive. I think that means the Prime Directive. It took me a second too. It took me a second too. I was like, what? Yeah,
so
the Prime
not
Directive.
A Star Trek. Well, yeah, but I think some of it also is that brings up a great point to show us that this is not Kirk. It's character, not so much development as establishment that he's going to go with it.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that is in the videos I've made talking about the Prime Directive. That's one of the big differences between pretty much of the Star Trek of the Next Generation era versus the classic Trek era, was that the drama in TNG and DS9, and even not so much in Voyager, but a little bit in Voyager, it was the characters are going to obey the Prime Directive and not interfere, and the drama comes from that, from them grappling with not being able to do something, as opposed to with Kirk would be like, Prime Directive, whatever, and he would do whatever. Yeah, exactly. Daniel says Kirk would have just started punching dudes. I mean, he may very well have
that, and it didn't work. Well, no, and they started with shooting dudes, so like they went up to Kirk. They like Now, in fairness, that was before they got Prime Directive out of it. They're just like, we don't know what's going on. These guys are here.
They're just showing up.
Showing up and appearing to be violent and not stand it down, so we're gonna shoot them. Exactly. Okay, and then
Okay, so I think we have one segment left in the episode, so let's watch it, and then we can spend the rest of the time talking about it. And here we go. Okay, everybody get ready, and everybody get ready to jump back into the episode. Of course, it's gonna come up. Okay,
count us in.
Everybody get ready. Coming back to it in 3, 2, 1, play.
Wah, 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 wah. Did you not hear me say shut up? No. Between my wife and me, Miles.
He's an engineer, not an English teacher.
Well, his wife is an English teacher. She wouldn't approve. His face isn't pink. Like, come on, makeup department, get on the ball. Look at that.
Pink him up. Come on, pink him up a little bit.
I'm very aggravated, he says. His voice sounds aggravated, but he's not pink. I'm sorry, I'm pale. Yeah, but at this, what's amusing is that Quark says, "You get so pink," and he's like, "Yeah, I do." And I'm like,
he doesn't look that pink though.
his skin tone has not changed. Like literally, dude, you could have just held your breath. You know, before they cut back to you, it wouldn't have been that hard.
Or pinched his cheeks.
Thank you, Loretta. I think she's trying. I think Keiko is making a valiant effort, but
yes.
I'm not expecting to see. Well, yeah, but I mean, Miles O'Brien. He goes. The whole point is he goes from pale to pink. Ninja, please, no, she is not. She doesn't have the terrible sweaters. Especially with like elementary school kids. Oh my God, elementary school teachers. All
right.
Can't you just like do this thing?
Yeah, I know, right? They just call him. Yoink. He dirty harried his badge.
Uh-oh.
Busted.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
He's so full of botany. Dun, dun, dun.
Right this way, jerk. I'm my honored guest. Yeah, good point. He can't dirty Harry anything. Garrick's not in this episode. I never, ever, ever get tired of making Dirty Harry jokes when Garrick is around. Yeah! Oh, railing kill. O'Brien's just like, shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I was like, why does Sonoda just? And I'm like, oh, okay, because I mean, then it. That is such a great face.
Oh, okay. Guess I'll just take my time apprehending the escaped prisoner. Dum-de-dum-de-dum.
Release them into space.
Let me get that collar off you there, bud. Oh, sorry, didn't know it was going to explode.
Oopsie.
I don't think so, buddy. Not sure what you're getting at there, but
now you, as in they're hunting you now too, dumbass.
yeah. Oh, never mind. Oh no, they're caught in a rundown.
Daniel, that's great. Oh, Tusk. Sorry, Keiko.
I've met someone.
There's some developments here. Uh-oh.
Oh. Whoa, nice dodge. Let me do it. Yeah.
Wow. They're all dead.
Man. One shot takes out all three of them. I want one of those. Cool. Jelly beans activated.
Yes, but sorry,
Mullet says, YOLO, O'Brien, go toss it up, man.
My hunt will go on. Daniel Balfour. Apparently, phasers are just crap compared to every other weapon in the galaxy.
Apparently.
Mr. Group.
Yo.
Oh, Brian. Oh, come on.
Kiss.
Come on. Oh, the shoulder touch. No. Come on. I watched the movie. It's, hey.
It's not your fault. Not you, Tusk. All right.
Lots of settings, but they're all low. You need to get the Spinal Tap version that lets you take it up to 11.
These go to 11. Gonna toss it up.
Oh God! I can't talk about it. It's
Mullet, I had the same thought. He does look like the enemy mine guy.
very carefully, sir.
Why are there 4 bodies on the promenade? Did you just threaten my wife, sir?
With not being a teacher, apparently. But it took him a while. Why are there 4 bodies on the promenade? Well, because they're not over here. That's where that's where the bodies are there, because that's where they showed up.
Yeah, exactly. And there we have it.
Woo-hoo!
Another episode of Deep Space Nine
Down
in the books.
One of those things. Somebody, Nikes, where'd they go? MP3 OK Lol says, make a window that has the time code and progress bar of whatever we're watching. I don't know.
Yeah, easier said than done. But thank you for the suggestion.
You're still not allowed to interfere with their. If they're dead, they kind of had their internal functioning pretty well interfered with. I think.
Yeah.
255 AD. How do I feel about them saying the Tosk are venerated? I think every sacrifice is made holy and is venerated in that sense. That doesn't necessarily bode well for the sacrifice. Not the misogynists will say, oh no, we respect women, we totally value their purity and blah 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 blah, while using that to deny them agency. So no, that's no. The Cisco.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, Cisco didn't exactly get a lot of choice in being the emissary. I mean, I guess you could argue that Cisco being the emissary is iffy as far as the Prime Directive, but it's not. I mean, he kind of got drafted into that.
Yeah, they could have phrased it as sanctuary, but yeah. Oh God, O'Brien. Just like I realized he was being obtuse and offensive there because the plot demanded it, and Tosk had to say no, so they could. They needed the fight choreography at the end to make it exciting.
Absolutely.
So, oh yeah, I mean, I think I would have had to do some backflips to avoid making that comparison to 55 AD. It's pretty obvious. So. You're making a frowny face. You're thinking. Yeah, no. It's just your resting bitch face.
Oh, thank you. I'm just reading the chat. Mr. Krupp says, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, Mr. Krupp says Cisco would have violated the Prime Directive to not be the Cisco. Yeah, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because you're not supposed to interfere, but at the same time, it would have been disruptive to the culture if he had like completely shunned the emissary thing. So yeah.
Yeah, Caitlin L says to just another nerd asked, what if being Tosk was a choice and actually was venerated culturally? And Caitlin L brings up the point I was going to make, was that they now again they said it's what they said, that he was bred specifically for it.
Yes,
but that doesn't necessarily that implies intention. But it could be that, they all breed to attempt to become Tosk, and then they all train to attempt to become Tosk. Like that is your, being the one who is hunted makes you, what was the, that was a, crappy story. The War Games story where, that it's kind of like the Hunger Games, but like they have like what's essentially a very large football game between two warring nations, and then the winner of the game gets to be like the winner of the war. But it they choose their best, and you essentially try out, you not audition, but like you compete to become the Tosk. But everyone is bred that way. Off-brand Power Rangers versus dinosaurs. Lisa, I was disappointed because I really was hoping for like Voltron Alliance. And then at the end, they would all kind of combine to form one giant robot versus the Tosk. And then they would fight and lose. And then they would pull out the flaming sword, because and then everyone would ask, why didn't you start with that? And the answer is because the episode needs to be this long.
And then the space station can transform into a giant robot.
And 255 AD, they say that he's naive, but again, we only see him for like this episode, so it's hard to say,
Yeah, I mean, I think he does seem pretty naive. He seems like, because it's established that that they've never been to this part of the galaxy. And
Yeah, but that doesn't make him naive. It makes him, uninformed, but not necessarily
yeah,
like I
well,
was
that's
saying
true.
earlier. If we run into aliens, we're like, okay, you know, what do you want? What do you like? How can you be killed?
I'm just curious. How can you be killed?
Just out of we humans, ha 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 ha. We're so curious, ha
I
ha.
just wanted to know. I promise I'm not going to do anything. Just
I'll just let me make a note of that.
just let me write it down. Yeah, just okay, cool. And that's the only
Remember,
way. That's the easiest way.
remember, kids, the difference between screwing around in science is writing it down.
Now we're trying to imagine what the station would look like if it was a transformer. I love it. The pylons are the arms. Would the Defiant be the head, or would would Ops be the head? Would like the top of the central core? I think would be the head.
Don't know, don't care.
Because the Defiant isn't even in the show yet. So
yet,
yeah, not until season 3.
25580 says, but most Star Trek aliens think and act like humans. Yeah, that's because the show is written by humans.
Yeah, for humans.
That's just, yeah,
for humans.
No,
yeah.
By humans. I mean, yes, it's written for humans, but I mean, it's the fact that it has human authors that, I mean, we're limited by our own imaginations and our own creativity.
And, I mean, we're not writing it for chimps. I mean, we're writing it for ourselves,
NWC Tim, not necessarily. Because you could just as easily argue that him making friends with O'Brien is a strategy in part of his hunt. Lisa Garrison, no, I have something else in mind. After Serenity.
Yeah, we know what's coming after Firefly.
Yeah. Can I give him like this much of a hint?
You can, of course, whatever you want.
Okay. It's another movie. In that case, there's going to be a movie after that, and it's one that Steve hasn't seen, and that I have, and that I think Steve should see. And that's you can keep guessing, and I will not tell you if you're right or wrong. That's all you get. So let's see. Voltron Legendary Defenders. Yeah, that was the one I just answered. What would happen if Tosk was so good at the hunters they never captured him? Well, and that would be, I guess eventually, like, the next generation of hunters would eventually come across his body if he got old and just, but eventually, I mean, if their species ages, eventually his capabilities are going to get worn down. Like, he's going to get sick. Something's going to happen, and he's not going to be at his peak anymore, and they'll eventually catch him. I would guess that they'd catch him and kill him before he just dies of old age.
And from then on, they would breed Tosk that are easier to catch.
What? No.
No?
That's totally defeating the purpose. They would feel proud of themselves. They would take honor and glory in having bred such a worthy Tosk. They would be like, yeah, look at us. The hunt lasted for like decades. That was awesome. It's like the best hunt ever.
Best Tosk ever.
Yes.
Chris Peach, that's a great suggestion, but I have seen that show and Dana has not. So if we were going to do another show, it would have to be something that Dana has seen and I have not.
But we could do that after DS9.
Yeah, in 7 years. I barely remember that show.
You're mixing. I disagree because that's not the way it works. That's. Although, I mean, if he could reframe it that way, that's part of the hunt, is that, that there are risks associated with being a hunter, that your prey might, be dangerous to you. I mean, truly, impressive prey is often, in terms of hunting for sport, is dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the story of the most dangerous game. This is why Zaroff got tired of hunting animals, was because they didn't. Nothing was a enough of a challenge for him.
Geralta Trekkie says, would the Hirogen win against the Hunter? And the Hirogen are characters from Voyager.
You'll have to.
The Hirogen are established as being pretty tough. And the guys that are hunting Tosk they have a cool costume and cool guns, but they don't seem all that formidable in terms of fighters, whereas the Hirogen are like Tony Todd plays a Hirogen, so they're pretty badass. So I think the Hirogen would have to win. I mean, if Tony Todd plays one of you, then
I'll
you're
take your word for it.
Tony Todd is the man.
Aw, Steve. I thought
What?
you were the man.
Oh, gosh. Go on with you. Only because Tony Todd's not around. If Tony Todd were here, there would be no confusion as to who was the man. And it would not be me.
It would not be you.
It would not be me.
I don't know who Tony Todd is, but I'll just take your word for it.
Okay. He's awesome.
Okay.
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 You've taken my word for it, so I'm going to drop it now.
Uh-huh. Sure. Okay. What? All right. Well, I don't have anything else to say. I'll just be open about that. I mean, I have other things that I could talk about that are just sort of random. But
what did you
about the show?
What did you just generally what did you think of the episode? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was What'd you think of it?
255 AD asks, so I wonder how the hunt starts. Did they give him a ship and head start? That seems, I mean, he has a ship.
He does. Yeah, he has a ship.
Seems plausible. What did I think of the show? It was all right. It was pretty good. I didn't really care what happened to him.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get why O'Brien like latched onto him. I guess it was because maybe he needed a fellow nerd and he hadn't had one. I don't know. But I mean, O'Brien, it seemed like O'Brien, like I was literally wondering if he'd done something to O'Brien. And then he hadn't.
O'Brien's just very friendly. He's just a very friendly sort of fellow.
He seems kind of needy.
Well, he hasn't made his best friend yet. We're still early in the show that he hasn't made his best friend yet.
Hey, no spoilers.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just saying he hasn't made his best friend. I mean, I think it's a good episode. It's not like a classic or anything, but it's like, it's a diverting hour. It's nothing wrong with it, but it's not like, it's not going to make like a top 10 list or anything, It's just kind of
it has now. I mean,
so far. This is one of the 5 best episodes of Deep Space Nine so far.
So far. Oh man, see, it would have been so much better if they'd really played up that angle. ER Mixon.
He stole his heart. Oh.
Yeah, 255 and 80, but that's only if you accept that that what everybody says is factually true, because I mean, it's not necessarily the case, And like I said earlier, I think and a lot of it is we don't know enough about their species.
Yeah.
Because I mean, devotion and respect, at least in humans, are not traits that can be specifically devotion and respect for a certain ideal are not traits that you can breed into somebody. It just doesn't work that way.
Right.
And so again, given that we have human writers, we're just like, okay, are we just supposed to? I have that issue with Star Trek and pretty much anything that relies a lot on aliens. I have that issue because I'm just like, are we just? How do we know it works that way? Are we just supposed to accept it? And mostly with visual media, because the nice thing about like books is they can the narrator can say this is how it is.
Right.
Whereas in plays and movies and television shows, somebody's got to say it. And then the question is, do they know what they're talking about? Are they being, do they believe it? All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's or that's entirely possible as well. Daryl Trekkie asks, how would a Star Trek show written by an actual alien look like? I don't know
How
because
could we
I've
possibly
never
know?
seen one.
How could we possibly know? I mean, it would probably be a lot like Star Trek is for us, only from the aliens' point of view. So, like, all of their aliens would look like them, just with shit on their foreheads, or whatever they have.
Yeah, but they'd also tell the stories differently.
Oh, sure, yeah, whatever.
Loretta
Yeah,
Reyes says, "Are there Tusk ladies?" We don't
maybe.
know.
Well, there could be.
I mean, maybe they were all Tusk ladies. Maybe they were all ladies.
Maybe they were all ladies.
Or maybe they don't have gender the same way that we have gender.
Very true.
You know. Mullet says dogs have loyalty traits bred into them, but they're not loyal to a specific ideal, or they're not bred for they're not bred to be loyal to, like, you can't breed a dog to be loyal to like an idea. Like, that's, you can't do that. But again, dogs are not Tusk, so maybe they can. IDK. We just we don't know enough about Tusk, because Tusk is just Tusk, and we only get him for one episode. Or
Tusk
her.
is Tusk, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Tusk.
Do I think that the hunters are part of the Dominion? I don't know.
And honestly, I mean, I don't know either, and I don't think it really matters. I mean, they never come up again. And I mean, we can speculate and say, well, maybe they are, but I mean, whatever answer I give doesn't really mean anything, because it's never established in the show, and I don't personally care. Like, it doesn't interest me, because they are who they are for this episode, and they work fine. And then when the episode's over, we never see them again. So maybe they are.
Dog is like, I am dog.
Exactly.
I'm dog, and being dog is good because I get belly rubs, and I get head scritchies, and I get food. And I get walks, and we go outside, and I get to roll in the leaves. Oh gosh, dogs are the best.
Caitlin, that's hilarious.
That's interesting. Smell wealth and attack the rich. Huh.
I've never watched Spaced. I've had it recommended to me before, but I've never actually watched it. But that's a hilarious gag.
I like Loretta's story, that the Tusk actually became so, powerful, and was such a good huntee that he killed all of his pursuers. That's why they never show up again. Dun,
Yeah.
dun. So, well, it is 7:45, so
Yes.
I need to begin heading.
Yes, we should wrap this up, because you have.
I get to hang out with my family and talk about stories again.
Woo-hoo! Yay! So, do you want to remind everybody about your YouTube channel?
Yes, I would like to remind people about.
I would love if you would.
So today is Wednesday. So I have another Pride and Prejudice video coming out tomorrow, because Steve helped me, because he edited it, because I'm still not at the point where I can look at my face. It's hard. It's like my voice sounds weird and my face looks weird, and so I'm reading Pride and Prejudice for the very first time, which is a little bit weird as an English teacher. Some of my students have chosen Pride and Prejudice for their challenge book, so they're gonna be reading it as well. And so I haven't told them yet that it's on YouTube. And then I also I'm varying the videos. Some of them are grammar lessons, and some of them talk about stories, and some of them just talk about stuff. So it's just me.
So that's coming out tomorrow. And the video, yesterday you put up another really good one about characterization. Was it yesterday?
Today is Wednesday. Wait, you do
yesterday?
Yeah, it would have been yesterday, because it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday right now.
Yeah, yesterday your characterization, and that's a good one. And then and your grammar cop video, which went up last week, which I think is your best one yet, is a really good video. But anyway, Dana, Some Random Geek was just kind enough to put it in the chat. Dana's channel is also linked in the description of this video, so please subscribe to her channel, watch her videos. They are awesome. I cannot recommend them highly enough. And we will be back on Friday to do the next edition of our Readaway series, where we're talking about the next chapter of The Dispossessed.
And I'm going to have to talk really fast, because I have a lot to say about this chapter. There's a lot. And it's a long chapter, too. So Some Random Geek, if you're going to read, you better get cracking on that.
Make sure it's good. Yes. And then on Monday, I will be back with another conversation stream. My guest will be Foxy Jezebel.
Yay!
It's going to be awesome because Foxy and I are old friends, and we haven't done a stream together for a couple years, so it'll be cool to see her again and talk to her. And then a week from tonight, we will be back to watch the next episode of Firefly.
Firefly, which I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I'm sure I'll look it up before that. No spoilers.
No, please don't.
Oh,
Please don't spoil it for me. Please don't spoil it for me.
I can't because I don't know which one it is.
And also, don't forget,
it might be my favorite one, but again, that's because we haven't seen my favorite one yet.
You don't remember.
I don't know which one it is.
And also, some random geek reminds me as well. Don't forget the charity links.
Yes.
Also in the description. Check those out and help out some of our friends who are in need. Charitylinks.page is the website, or you can just find it in the video description, and we would all really appreciate that as well. So
Norman Bookwald says, waiting for your impeachment of Lord Dampnut video, Steve. As are we all, Norman. As are we all.
I'm in favor of it.
Your Ultra Trekkie asks, when is Miss Malcolm entering the picture? Oh, I don't know. I don't have the order of the episodes. Safe is the next episode. Okay. I'd have to look it up on the internets.
The internets.
So after mine, we are watching a movie. And so it's not, well, Cowboy Bebop does have a movie. So, but it's not the series.
And also I've seen it.
You've seen the movie?
Oh, I don't know if I have seen the movie, but I've seen the series. We watched the series back in the day. I mean,
in the day.
I don't think I have seen the movie actually. But the movie's like a prequel to the series.
For reasons.
Yeah, for reasons. Yes. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Let's call this to a close because Dana has shit to do, and
I have family to talk to. Family that I care about.
I didn't mean it disparagingly.
Well, you said it disparagingly. I'm kidding.
Sub 255 AD. I almost always watch subtitles if they're available and not the dub version.
Sometimes, like if I hear that a dubbed version is good, I'll watch it just to hear what the performances are like. But usually, I mean, I have subtitles on for this, even though I can hear it. I like having the text to look at. It's just, I don't know.
You're a reader.
Oh, Corey, thank you so much. So Safe is next,
Safe.
then Armistice Reynolds. So yeah, we've got, so Safe is the next one, definitely.
All right, there we go.
All right, there we go. No spoilers.
No spoilers. All right. Thank you for joining us, everybody, for another watch along. Come back next week to watch another episode of Firefly with us, and join us on Friday for Read Away.
Read Away!
Yay! And that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.
255 AD. Everything we're watching right now is in English, so yeah, you could watch sub and still watch along. I don't know why not.
We're not watching. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, don't assume that the next thing is gonna have subtitles because
just don't assume anything except that it's a movie that Steve has not seen.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, we will tell you
when we get there.
We're still a ways away from that yet. Yeah.
We'll probably tell you a little bit before, maybe before Serenity. That way, if somebody doesn't have that movie, they can get access to it in time for the watch along. All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
So good to see you.